And they grabbed her, and Poyita held her ear out. And Shorty reached in her pocket and took out a switchblade knife. She said, say goodbye to your ear, little girl. They're going to call you One Ear from now on. So they held her by the ear, and they said, uno, dos, tres. And Shorty brought her knife back, and right as she brought it back to bring it down, her arm stopped in midair. And then the knife flew out of her hands, and she said, oh my God, the ghost is back. And she reached in her pocket to grab the holy water, and she pulled it out. Oh, it had turned black. It looked like toilet water, sewer water. It looked terrible. And she said, what is this? And then she remembered what the priest had yelled at her as she ran away. And the priest had said, if it won't do you any good, if it's for a bad purpose. She said, damn pinchy priest. She threw the holy water on the ground. She said, run! And everybody ran in a different direction. Poyita ran to the school cafeteria. When she got there, she tried to climb up on a shelf, but the shelf fell over. She grabbed onto a pipe. She was hanging there by the pipe, and beneath her was a big pot of boiling oil where they cooked the school French fries. And there she was hanging on the pipe. And all of a sudden she heard the voice, and the voice said, hey, Poyita, why'd you do me like that? She said, is that you, Nancy? Funny meeting you here. Well, a finger got plucked off the pipe. She said, what? And then another finger, and then another finger, until she was hanging just by her little thumbs. And she said, Nancy, she said, I'm sorry, it was peer pressure. No hard feelings, right? Forgive and forget. And the voice said, hell no. Pluck! Both her thumbs got knocked off the pipe. She fell down into the boiling oil. I'm burning, she cried. She went into the water. Well, then one of those big fat cafeteria ladies with the big cabooses walked in. She walked up to the French fry thing with her scooper. She pulled back the cover and went, because inside was little Poyita, all fried up like a chicken fried Poyita. And that lady went, oh my God, honey, I can't believe it. She pushed her aside and she scooped out the fries that were still good and went to serve them. Well, the last two that were left was the one they called Shorty and the one they called Tattletale. Well, they climbed on top of the highest building in school, and around this school was a big spiked fence that they used to keep people who did tagging out. Well, they were on the edge of the building, and Shorty said, come on, we'll jump over the fence, Luca, we'll run to my house, we'll get some more holy water, we'll come back, we'll get rid of that ghost. And Tattletale looked, she said, I don't know, it looks too far, we'll never make it, oh my God, what are we going to do? And all of a sudden, they heard footsteps behind them. They turned, but there was nobody there. And they heard that sound of the rusty locker going, She said, Shorty said, who is it? And the voice said, hey, Shorty, why'd you do me like that? She said, why'd I do you like that, Nancy? Let me think. All right, I'll tell you why I did you like that. Because you're nothing but a little punk schoolgirl, and I hate schoolgirls, and you ain't never gonna get shorted, never! And she turned around, she went, uno, dos, tres, and she ran as fast as she could, and she jumped in the air. Shorty flew off the edge of the building, into the air, and then down she came, right on the spikes. They got her right in the midsection. She spit out some blood, and died. And that's the way they found her on the fence. Well, the last black widow, who was left, was Tattletale. And she fell to her knees and she said, okay, Nancy, you got me. Just kill me quick. Just don't worry about my tongue and wrap it around my neck. Just get it over with quick, okay? And all of a sudden she heard the voice in her ear, and the voice said, Tattletale. And she said, yes. And the voice said, tell everybody what happened. And she said, okay, I will. That's what I'm good at. I never shut up. That's why they call me Tattletale. So that's how we know the story about what happened to the Black Widows. Well, I don't know what happened to Tattletale, and I don't know where they buried Shorty, but I do know this. Whenever you're at that school late at night, and you're walking around, and you hear that sound of a rusty locker, and you turn around, and you don't see somebody there, you might hear a voice in your ear that says, hey, why'd you do me like that?